my channel. So in this video, I am going to give you guys step-by-step detailed instructions on how to purchase your first commercial building, your commercial office, commercial property in general. How do you get approved? Now first, I need you guys to like this video. Go ahead and like it because I know you're going to like it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell as well. So when I pop through, you're like, there go my girl. All right guys, so if you don't already know, if you've been living under a rock, I literally just purchased my first commercial property. And I say first because I'm hoping this is not the last. So anyways, in this video, I am going to go over how I did all of that and how you can be approved for your own commercial property. So if you're interested, keep watching this video. Now, one of the things that I'm going to say is these steps are not necessarily in order, but all of the steps are definitely necessary for you to get approved for your loan. So one of the first things that I definitely recommend is for you to have your credit score in check. So you definitely want to know what your credit score is. If your credit score is low, like the 500s, you definitely want to bring that credit score up. You definitely want to have at least a high 600, 700, and who don't like an 800 credit score? So definitely make sure your credit score is in check. Whatever is bringing it down, pay that debt or whatever you owe, so that way you can bring your credit score back up. So if you need to work on your credit score for a year or so, that is totally okay. Just get your credit score in order, and then the next step is definitely to have your finances in check. Now this is very, very important. This is not like getting a home loan where you can actually put 3% down, where there's actually programs out there for first-time home buyers. It's a commercial loan. They want you to be able to put down at least 20 to 25% down. With my lender, I had to put down 25% down. Now with me, I really wanted a very low mortgage. So I actually put down more than 25% because I didn't want a mortgage more than $75,000. So definitely have your finances in check. And it's not only the 25% down or the 20% down. It's not only the down payment. You also have to pay closing cost fees, okay? So as the buyer, you have closing costs. As the seller, if you're a seller, you have a closing cost as well. So know what are your exact fees. The first thing I ask my lender are, what are my fees? I want to know. I do not want to know a week before closing. I want to know now. So that way I have my coins in order. Don't want any surprises. So my fees was about $3,000. I had to do an inspection. I had to do an appraisal and other little fees that had nothing to do with my down payment. So my closing costs altogether with the down payment and everything was over $33,000. I put down a little more than 25% because I did not want to have a large mortgage. So that was my closing cost fees, just to give you an idea. And my loan really wasn't that much. So imagine if you buy a commercial property that's for $500,000 or $1 million, you gotta come in with the coins. So you gotta really have your down payment. So the next thing that I think is highly important, more important than your finances, like knowing your numbers, I feel like knowing what you can actually afford, not what the bank recommend, not what he said, she said, but what you really feel like you can, you know, pay for this property every month and not feel like it's a struggle, not feel like you can't do it or you barely making the payment. So you really want to sit down with yourself and write down all of your finances, write down your budget, like know what you can afford. If you have a mortgage, now you're getting another mortgage for commercial property, you definitely want to say, okay, this is how much I'm willing to pay every single month. For me, I did not want to pay more than $1,000 a month for a property. So I really had to really crunch the numbers and figure out what I wanted to look for as far as like price range. And of course, you want to make sure that what you saying that you want to, you know, pay for is realistic. You know, you don't want to say, oh, I want to pay $30,000 a month for a property when you can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? So just talk to yourself, have a real conversation about how much you could actually afford and execute those numbers. Just be true to yourself. So now you have your credit in order, you have your finances in order. So now you want to go ahead and find you a realtor. Now, some people may say you want to go ahead and find you a lender and get pre-approved. I say find a realtor first, and I'm going to explain why. Now, finding a realtor can be very easy, or it can be actually very hard. In my case, I felt like a lot of realtors didn't really take me seriously, so it took me a little minute to find me my guy. Now, my realtor was actually the seller's realtor, okay? Now, this can be a bonus and it can be a disadvantage. In my case, it was perfect. It worked out pretty well. He was basically the middleman between the two, but I feel like he was looking out for me as he was looking out for the seller as well. So for me, it worked out. And like I said, it was not that easy for me to find a realtor. My realtor was really great, and he actually Googled me. He did. He Googled me. So he seen my YouTube videos and all of that stuff, and he was like, oh, she's going to be a great buyer, blah, blah, blah.
She's a YouTube.
Yes.
She's a YouTube. This is her new day.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, this is the closing statement. And,
Okay. But I felt like it was really smart for my situation to get a realtor first, because he actually helped me get my lender. Getting a lender can be very daunting, okay? It can be very stressful. Like, there's so many lenders, different type of lenders. There's big banks, small banks. I recommend small banks, and I will tell you why. But yeah, find you a realtor, and then your realtor will kind of help you, point you into a lender that fits your situation. So I told my realtor who I was. You know, I didn't tell him I was a YouTuber or anything like that. He found that on his own. I just told him that, you know, I had paid off my home, my credit score was good. I went through so many crazy lenders trying to get this loan, so many personal lender companies that was pure trash, okay? So like I said, I definitely recommend small banks, okay? So one of the lenders that I had contacted was actually an organization that helped nurses get loans, right? The lady told me they do commercial loans and all of this stuff, and it was straight up trash, straight up lies. So anyways, when I finally got approved for this commercial property loan for nurses, they basically was trying to give me a personal loan for only $40,000 and telling me I can use that $40,000 for startup costs and all of this. No, I need a commercial loan. I don't need a personal loan. I'm trying to build, not get in debt. And these people to this day still email me. It's so annoying. And the interest rate was so high. Like, you're trying to get me in debt. So please be careful about the lenders that you choose, and you even like give them your time, because once they have your information, they're going to keep calling you, and you don't want that. You want a good commercial lender, and I recommend, I'm gonna say it again, small banks. I tried to go with the bigger banks, and it was just a bit of a phone tag. When I called them, they wasn't available, or when they called me, I wasn't available. I just could never get a hold to the big banks. So the smaller banks are just perfect. Small banks. The lady that I work with, she always answered her phone. Like, my loan went through with no problems. I literally got approved within a week. So yeah, small banks are really what you want to do. You not want to just go online and Google lending companies. When I'm ready for my next loan, I would definitely be going with a small bank, probably with the same small bank. Great experience. So next step is to get pre-approved from your lender. Okay, so you definitely want to get pre-approved. The pre-approved letter is just saying that, yes, this person is approved for this loan for this amount of money, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, get pre-approved is the next step. First, get a realtor that can help you find the right lender. and then get that pre-approved letter. The next thing is to be very transparent and honest about your company. They're gonna ask you questions about what kind of business that you have, and etc, etc. They're gonna ask you about finances, how much money your business is making, or whatever the case may be. Like for my particular situation, I am a startup company. I can't really say, oh, my company made $1 million, because it has not. Okay, I can't even say my company made 100,000. Okay, let's be real honest, right? So you definitely want to be honest. I let them know upfront that my business is a starter company, and I am a travel nurse, and I paid off my mortgage, and I know I can pay off this loan, right? So you want to be 100% honest. They want to make sure that you can afford the mortgage. That's really all they really care about. Can you afford the mortgage, right? Your credit and income ratio, can you afford the payments? That's really what they care about. So just be honest. Don't tell them like, oh yeah, my business make this, if your business don't really make that. If you're a starter company like myself, let them know that, and that way they know exactly what loan to place you in. If there's programs out there, they may be able to tell you about programs or maybe grants or whatever the case may be for a startup business. So it's definitely key to just be honest with what you're working with, so that way you get yourself in the right loan. You're not wasting their time, and you're not wasting your time. So be transparent. The next step is to definitely get your paperwork ready. So what does that mean? So they want to know your statements. They want to know your bank statements, how much money you have in the bank. If you have savings, where are your savings, how much money you have. They want to know if you have a car payment. They want to know if you have rent payment. Do you have a mortgage? They want to look at all of your bills. They want to just make sure that you can afford this loan, okay? So have all that paperwork ready. They also want to know if you have a LLC, is your business registered? They want to get your EIN number and all of that. But that is one of the things that they're definitely going to want to know. Now it's time for you to actually start looking. Maybe you and your realtor already started looking. So the key thing about looking for a commercial property is location, 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 okay? So what are the demographics? Who are you trying to bring into your business, okay? Do you need to have people come into your business? Or are you going to just be doing sales over the phone or whatever the case may be? Do you need walk-through traffic? Do you need people to know where you are, right? So location is very important. So if you want to be on a main highway, you're going to pay a lot more for that, okay? If you want to be like maybe in a downtown area, they're going to be a fee for that as well. If you want to be near a neighborhood, you know, they may be a little cheaper. So do your research about your location. Location is very, very important. Who are you trying to sell to? Is it a lower income demographic? Is it a higher income demographic? So that's very important to know who are you trying to sell to, whatever it is that you're selling, whether it's a boutique, whether it's property for real estate, if you're a realtor, if you're a insurance agent, whatever the case may be. You really need to know and think about where you want your office to be located to help you generate organic leads, okay? So that's very important. Location, location, location is very important. And when you decide where you want to be and you find that commercial property, you want to go and take a look at that property more than one time, okay? If you have family, friends, you maybe want to bring them along with you, let them scope it out, let them look at it, and all of that great stuff. But definitely go to the property more than one time, because when you first look at a property and you really like it, sometimes you miss all of the flaws. You don't see what things that should really stick out of you don't really stick out, because you're so like, oh my gosh, I like this office, or I like this property. You don't see what can be really underlying issues, and you want to know those issues because you want to be able to negotiate. And that's actually another next step, is you definitely, once you decide, okay, this is the property I would like to put an offer on, do not be afraid to negotiate, okay? Like I said, go to the property more than one time, okay? In my situation, when I first seen my property, I was like, oh, I really want it and all of that. And then as I went to see it again, I've seen so many of the flaws of the building to the point where I negotiated for them to redo the whole wall. Like, you gotta take this whole thing down and redo it if you want me to buy this property, okay? So yeah, definitely see the property more than one time and negotiate. Don't be afraid of the seller, okay? A lot of sellers, you know, if they had a property for commercial property for 20-30 years or whatever the case may be, of course they're gonna be like, this is my baby and this is how much I'm selling it for. I'm not gonna go down or whatever the case may be. Don't be afraid to negotiate. I negotiated. I was not afraid at all, and I definitely you know, got the loan price that I wanted to pay for. So just because they say this is worth $500,000, if it ain't worth $500,000 to you, then guess what? It's not worth $500,000 to you. So do not be afraid to negotiate, okay? You put your money in the game, so you should be able to negotiate, period. Negotiate, okay? Another thing that you definitely want to ask, I would say at least 2 to 3 weeks before closing day, is important things such as, do I need to get insurance for this building on my own, or does the lender take care of that? If you have to get your own insurance, most commercial buildings, you do have to get your own insurance. So make sure you go ahead and start calling around and getting quotes for your actual building insurance. You also want to go ahead and go to City Hall, and you want to see about if you want to have a signage on your building, get the requirements, so that way when you start talking to companies about putting a sign up, you already know the requirements. Do you need to get a permit for the sign and things like that? Are there repairs that you need to do for your building before you can actually move in? So you definitely want to get an inspection, right? So inspection is very important. It will give you the details of what's really going on the building. And you should also be required to do an appraisal as well. You also want to go ahead and start calling around for like internet service. How much is it going to be for commercial internet, okay? If you need internet. You also want to go ahead and call around to see how much is the light typically be, like the light bill, the electric bill, water bill, trash bill, whatever that case may be. I like to know these things ahead of time because I am a budget junkie. I kind of want to know, okay, can I really afford this property with everything else that I have to do? Because like commercial insurance is a lot higher than having a homeowner's mortgage insurance. I didn't know that, right? So you definitely want to know how much your insurance is going to be. But those are some of the things that people don't talk about when you're actually purchasing a commercial loan. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and please comment, subscribe, show some love, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye guys.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day, and when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turning to morning dew.